Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and we have something really cool that you can see before you. This is a massive amount of Recur figures. I've actually been a pretty big fan of Recur for a very long time. I think they're very underrated and produce some of the coolest looking dinosaur or prehistoric related figures that I've probably ever seen. I'm definitely a big fan of their style, which is kind of not so accurate, a little stylized, and I think they always look super cool every single time I see one. And I have just recently acquired a ton of Recur figures from the Amazon Recur store. So we're going to unbox each of these, bring them in, take a brief look at them, and then they will all be coming up for review here on the channel. So let's go ahead and unbox these beauties and see which species we got. So the very first one we have here is quite obviously a marine reptile. So we'll pull this out of its package here. And this is their Tylosaurus. I'm going to go ahead and get a better angle. But that is their Tylosaurus, and wow, that's really, really nice looking. Yeah, and I am always so impressed by the Recur figures. I think they just get better and better as time goes on, and this is definitely a really neat looking figure. Really nice purplish color scheme, but it looks really nice and natural. And if you are unfamiliar with the Recur figures, they're actually a very soft, squishy feel, so if it's something that like you're considering getting for your children, like they're really soft, they're very safe, and also quite sizable. You can see that the figure is really quite large, so that's a really neat looking Tylosaurus. Again, each of these, we're just going to run through them pretty quickly right now with an unboxing, and each of them will come up for review here on the channel. And then here's one that I was really excited about. I've been eyeing this one up on the Amazon Recur store for quite a while. This, once I pull it out of the packaging here, because the flippers there wanted to hold it in, this is the Liopleurodon, and it is super nice looking. It has a very kind of walking with dinosaurs type of a look to it. Similar paint scheme, but man, that is really, really nice looking in person. Very cool looking pose as well. Something you don't often see portrayed on these would be a pose similar to this. I really like the paint job of this as well. It's very, very appealing. They've done like a really cool light dry brushing over top to make the detail pop. That is a very, very nice looking Liopleurodon. And then the next one is keeping up with the marine animal kind of a theme that we have currently going on, but this is a Basilosaurus, and that was really exciting to me when I had seen that this one was one that Recur had made, because there aren't very many Basilosaurus figures out there. Like, I can only think of a very small handful of them, so when I had seen that Recur had made one, I was really psyched, and this one has a beautiful appearance to it. Very nice, very realistic looking paint scheme as well. So that's a super, super exciting release. And actually, now that I'm a little ways into this, there is a Recur book in here as well, which is pretty cool that this was included, which we could straight away, we could see a really nice looking Dilophosaurus here on the front, but we've got all different types of dinosaurs that are included in their line in this book here, showing off quite a lot of the different species. Some of these have actually already made appearances here on my channel. I have reviewed the Tyrannosaurus and the Ouranosaurus right there. My Ouranosaurus actually had a different paint scheme though than that one. That one's actually a really nice looking paint scheme. I might have to get that version as well. But there are just tons of different figures included in the Recur line, and it's not just dinosaurs. As you can see, many different animals as well. They're really, really nice. That green iguana is beautiful looking. I don't know that I've ever actually taken the time out to look at the animals from Recur as opposed to just their dinosaurs and prehistoric creatures. That loggerhead sea turtle is beautiful as well. This is definitely something I'm going to have to take a nice look through, and I absolutely recommend you guys checking out Recur and some of the products that they have, because they produce some beautiful stuff. And would you believe it, we have yet another marine animal in here. If we pull that out, this is an Ophthalmosaurus, and wow, man, these are so nice. Like, this is a very continuing trend with me. When I get a Recur figure in hand, they are always just so much more beautiful than I expect them to be, and that is a really cool figure of an Ophthalmosaurus. Very nice looking paint application and paint scheme too. I actually think it's really cool with the like orange here above the eyes. Very flashy, but beautiful here as far as the figure goes. Another one that, again, will without question be up for review very soon. And then, wouldn't you know it, we've got another marine animal, as we now have a Dunkleosteus as well. And that is beautiful also. I love the shading they've given this. Really, really realistic looking as far as the paint application goes. Beautiful detailing aspect of the figure as well. When I say Recur is underrated, I really, really mean that they are severely underrated. That is a gorgeous looking Dunkleosteus. Definitely a beautiful figure. And this is one that I was really excited about too. We are now leaving the marine animals, but this one is not the most scientifically accurate, obviously, interpretation of this species, but I was a huge fan of this one when I had seen it on their website. This is a Mamenchisaurus, but it's such a super cool vintage, like old school style Mamenchisaurus sculpt. I love how low it is to the ground and the legs are kind of spread out in almost a lizard-like fashion. It is incredibly appealing to me as far as that vintage-looking sauropod figure goes, and I thought that as far as a Mamenchisaurus retro-style figure goes, this is picture perfect. So this is one that, I was a big fan of on their website, and I love vintage dinosaurs, so it was one that I knew I really wanted to get a hold of and add to my collection. Another really cool figure. And then we have another really cool species that they have just recently created. I believe this is definitely one of their newer figures, which is the Hyungasaurus, and that is a really exciting one because there aren't very many figures out of this species. So it was a pretty unexpected and really quite exciting release, if you ask me. Pretty nice looking figure as well. I love the greenish paint scheme they've gone with and the way that the yellow here on the plates and shoulder spike and stuff play off of that green. So another figure that will definitely be up for review. And here's another one that I was really excited to see. And you can obviously see that he's very tall and totally out of frame. And you might also already have a pretty good idea of what species this is. But this is a really cool looking Therizinosaurus that they had up on their Amazon store. I think this one might have come out last year or potentially this year. I don't really recall, but it was a really nice looking figure, and I thought that the actual paint scheme they had gone with was really flashy as well and looked really cool. And again, I really, really wanted to get a hold of this one. Once I saw it, I was instantly sold on this figure, and it's just as beautiful here in person. So definitely psyched to have this one here as well. And then we've got another one that's too big to fit into the screen, but if you pull it out here, you might be able to take note to what it is potentially, especially after looking at that booklet a moment ago. This is the Dilophosaurus, and the Dilophosaurus as well looks really, really cool. Another really nice looking sculpt, another really nice looking paint scheme to the Dilophosaurus, and this was another one that I really wanted to get a hold of because I love Dilophosaurus. So knowing that Recur had one out, I really wanted to get it into my collection. Anytime there's a decent looking Dilophosaurus out, I really want to get it. But when there's a really nice looking one, I definitely want to get it, and this looks great. I love the paint scheme on this one as well, which is impressive how good the actual paint schemes and paint apps of Recur figures is. These ones have all been just gorgeous, if you ask me. So another beautiful figure, which seems to be pretty much the theme of this video. And then we've also got the Stegosaurus. So a really cool looking Stegosaurus with a greenish paint scheme. And if you know me, you know I love green paint schemes on my Stegosaurs with reddish plates. It's just something that I'm always a big fan of, and that's exactly what we have here with this Stegosaurus. And I really like the way they've applied the paint, like really nicely dry brushing the greenish paint over top of like a lighter variation of green. Very nice looking and quite realistic looking, but again, another figure that we're going to have to wait to dive into a little bit further with the review. And here was one that I was really excited to see, and I cannot wait to get it out of the packaging right now to take a better look at it. This is their Monolophosaurus, and I think this one is so unique looking and so appealing to the eye. It's again a species that doesn't get love very often, so I was really excited to see it here from Recur, and I think that it looks beautiful on this specific figure because it's so different than most. And I think again Recur has like their own very cool, unique, stylized versions of their dinosaurs, And this definitely looks really neat. And again, we have that soft squishy feel, so you can pretty much articulate your dinosaur if you would like. And it's very bendable, which is something that I'm always impressed with, is how good these figures look paint and sculpt wise while still maintaining that soft squishy feel to the figures. Incredibly cool looking Monolophosaurus. And then we are down to the final 3 figures. This one is their Giganotosaurus, and it looks super cool. This one straight away has a really nice dark wash, which I love on figures. I love when they include dark washes because I feel like it just makes the detail pop so nicely and so realistically. And they've definitely applied a great dark wash to this one. And this is the first time I think I've seen a Giganotosaurus from Recur, so that as well is a really cool aspect of this figure. Really nice looking. Yet again, beautiful paint scheme as well. And then the second to last is a Spinosaurus from Recur. This one also looks very cool. Obviously not your most up-to-date version of a Spinosaurus, as we don't have that newly updated tail or anything. But this one was released, I think, a little ways back, so it's not surprising that it wouldn't have the newest updates to it. But there was a time when this is pretty much what we believed Spinosaurus looked like, so the figure absolutely has its place in dinosaur figure history. And again, another really cool Recur figure. And the final one here is one that I am really excited about, because if you know me, you know I love this dinosaur, and it is huge, absolutely massive, and I had no idea it was quite as large as it is. But this is knocking down the backdrop because he's so big. This is a gigantic Carnotaurus from Recur. They did release a Carnotaurus previously, which I really like that figure as well, and I have reviewed that one here on the channel, but they now have this newest version out, which is just massive and has a really nice greenish paint scheme. And I had seen this one quite a little ways back on the Amazon Recur store again, and was extremely excited about it, so I am beyond excited to now have it here to review for you guys. So, all of the figures you just saw here were acquired through the Amazon Recur store, so make sure you check out that Amazon Recur store. Order yourself some beautiful Recur figures. I will include a link in the description to the Recur website, where you can head through the links on that website to the Amazon Recur store and pick yourself up some of these incredibly cool Recur figures. And make sure you, of course, keep checking back for the reviews of each and every one of these figures you just saw. And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.